The iGym is a neurovisual cognitive training center for athletes, for military, for law enforcement, as well as the senior citizen. Anybody can train in the iGym. Basically, it's a type of training where we're training visual motor skills. We're training the senses. Since the rise of human performance, the senses have become a dominant skill when it comes to athletic ability. And in the 50s and 60s and even the 70s, these athletes would basically train about 6 weeks before the season would start, and they would get in the weight room and get ready. And these days, however, these athletes train all year round. So every athlete is in peak performance. So they're looking for that competitive edge. We're that competitive edge.
I originally came in about 5 years ago. I had an infection in my eye, which then led to a cornea transplant. And 4 days after the cornea transplant, I walked into my closet and pulled a t-shirt off the hanger. The hanger spun around, snapped, and hit me in the eye, and basically ripped everything out. So I've slowly gone blind over the last 5 years. So I lost my dominant eye, and I was having a lot of input problems and really unable to function until I came here. I actually found out about the iGym from a friend of mine at the Panthers who introduced me to Dan. Dan and I met. I told him about my eye situation and how I'm having this input problem. And he said to me, well, have you done any work on it since the accident? And I'm like, no, I didn't even know you could. And then so he started telling me about the NeuroTracker. So what happened was when you lose your dominant eye, the brain doesn't move over as quickly as everybody thinks to handle the input. Imagine input being everything that moves being a dot. And I was from New York and all the dots were moving too quickly. And when I couldn't process it in my head. So I was getting anxious, literally jumping out of my skin. My reaction time was slower to the point where I live in a development, up in Boca, and I thought I was ready to say I'm never going to leave the development again because driving, being in a mall, being out in public, being at an arena was just too much for me to handle. And then I started coming to the iGym and we started using the NeuroTracker, and then slowly I noticed that I was handling the world a lot better. The world had slowed down. And my brain and the neuroplasticity in my brain started getting better and better and better, and I'm out again, and I'm here. And to me, that's everything. The iGym is great for people of all ages. If you're young and you're an athlete, this can really help, just your eye-hand coordination speed, make you faster. If you're good, you're gonna get better. If you're not so good, you're gonna get good. But more importantly, the older generation too, because what the iGym can help you is making sure that your balance is better, making sure that your driving skills are better, just by understanding that you can react faster. And it's just basically a gym for the brain. Just like you go to the gym to work out your muscles, your brain, while it's not a muscle, it can be worked out and it can be built bigger, better, and stronger.
Patients would come here on twofold. One is as an athlete to enhance their visual cognitive abilities, and the other as, say for instance, a patient with any type of neurological disorder like a concussion or a TBI. We do rehabilitation for these patients, and it gets them back to work, back on the field much quicker than if they just were at home resting. On the athletic side, again, this is a cutting edge type of training that gives the modern day athlete a competitive edge. It's all based on a modern neuroscience called neuroplasticity, where we are rewiring the brain to meet a much higher visual demand. So when these athletes now, they go on the field, on the ice, on the court, the task that they're performing doesn't seem quite as hard as it was before. So we use special instruments that train these athletes. So it'll train them how to have faster eye-hand speed, quicker reaction time, the ability to perceive things a little better. The instruments we use are some instruments called NeuroTracker. We use FitLight, we use Synaptic on a daily basis, both for an assessment and a training type of regimen. We also use our newest instrument, which is called our AMP system, where we're incorporating now not only virtual reality, but augmented reality into the training.